Welcome, APBA golf fans. Today I'm going to be playing Metro D.C., one of the older APBA golf courses. I think, in fact, it was probably the course that came with the game when I bought it way back when. And it was, I think, probably the course that I learned how to play the master game on. I have since I created my Game Caddie record book, the database that's the companion program to the Game Caddie spreadsheet. Since I developed that a couple of years ago, I've only played this course 17 times. I know that because that's the number of rounds that I have in the database. And this course is a par 72. And in my playing it, I've averaged just a little bit under par, 71.12, so 0.88 strokes under par. And as we go through this, I'll talk a little bit about the hardest holes, easiest holes, and so forth. To date, though, Steve Stricker, and this was his 2016 card, has the lowest recorded round, which was a 66. I've also had a couple of holes in one on this course. Bob Rosberg, his 1962 card, and I say 1962 card, I'm dating that as the card that came in the set back when I purchased the APBA golf game back sometime probably in the mid to late 1960s. And there was a set of cards that came with that game, and it doesn't specify the actual year on those cards, but I'm going to estimate that was 1962. Anyway, he has a hole-in-one here on hole 2, and the other person to have a hole-in-one is Brandt Snedeker, his 2016 card. I got a hole-in-one on hole number 13. Okay, so let's go ahead and get set up. Today we're playing with Cameron Young and Bryson DeChambeau, both of them their 2022 cards. And we'll flip over here to the first hole and give you a peek at it. We need to, while I've got these guys already set up on the Caddie tabs, I haven't picked clubs for them, and I haven't set the conditions for the day. So that's probably the first thing that we should do. Come over here and click on the conditions tab. And I'm going to click here on the configuration settings button. And what I'm going to do is just keep the settings here in their default mode. The one that we have to always pay attention to is the wind controls here. And there's no wind notes for Metro D.C., so we'll be playing under the standard conditions. Click on this to apply settings. And standard conditions, basically what that means is that the Game Caddie will do all the wind rolls for us. It always does all the lie rolls for us, but it will do all the wind rolls. And it will apply those wind effects, if any, automatically. So we don't have to fool with any of that. You don't have that luxury when you play some of the other APBA courses that do have special wind effects on particular holes. And in that instance, you've got to use a different setting. Usually the modified wind setting is what you want there. But we don't have to fool with that today. I'm going to go ahead and I guess load the course. I haven't done that yet either. So come down here. I'm going to click on the Course 3 tab, and we'll import the course. You can see these are all the courses that are in the Caddie as of today's date. And we've got Metro D.C. over here as course number 4. Unfortunately, these are not alphabetized, mainly because they get added at different points in time, right? And I don't want to have to, redo the order of this every time I get a new course put in here. And of course, you've got to own the course before you can actually, use the Game Caddie to be able to play. So it's not like, somehow this gets around having to buy courses from APBA. No, we don't want that. Okay, so Metro D.C. is course 4. We'll just close this and that'll automatically load it for us. And you can see the various hole notes that are up here along with pin placement settings and dog leg information and the par information here. I'll come down here to special features. And again, we've got some notes here that were provided by Dr. Tom Klein. And we're going to, again, just go ahead and ignore those notes and stick to the ones that are on the APBA boards. And we don't have any other special notes for this course that we need to pay attention to. So we've got that all set up. We'll come back over here again to the conditions tab. Oh, before we do that, I want to point out that up here in the right-hand corner, if you have some courses for which you don't know what the wind rating is, that information is available on a separate PDF that you can download, I think, from APBA. But if the course is in the Game Caddie, that information will already be up here for you once you load the course. You can see. So this is a C-rated course for wind. Come back here to the conditions tab. Going to go ahead and roll for the pin number first. And we get a one die roll is a 3. So we'll click on pin number here to change that to a 3. We'll roll again for day wind. And this time we get a 33. Come over here to C, and we can see, oh, good, we have a calm day. That'll make things a little bit easier. It's already set a calm, so we don't have to fool with that. And roll again. And now we add 2 dice. We get a 10. Come over here to the course roll conditions, and that means we're going to have soft conditions. And that's going to hurt us a little bit in terms of fairway roll, but will not affect us when the ball's on the green. Okay, so again, as I mentioned, I've already put in the information from the player's cards up here in terms of average W, average I, momentum, and bounce back. You can see Cameron Young has the potential to take lots of bonus points here. So if we get birdies or bogeys, we'll want to take advantage of that. Doesn't have any sand points. Shot making to the left is a C, to the right is a B. Clutch 1, again, we're going to ignore that. That's for tournament play. And then he has a scramble number of 2. And now we need to select clubs for him. Knowing that we have a calm day here, I may just pick a hybrid. Give me a chance to talk a little bit about what a hybrid does. He already hits the ball pretty far. Maybe we'll just do this. We'll pick a 4-wood hybrid and a 3-iron as his 3 clubs. And we'll come over here for Bryson DeChambeau. He has an average W of a 1. I don't know what you do if players start hitting the ball farther than he does. I don't know if there's no such thing as an average W of 0. I'm not sure how that will work. Average I of 2, momentum 1, bounce back 0, sand 0, shot making to the left is a C, and to the right is a C as well. So we don't want to work the ball with DeChambeau if we can help it. Clutch is a 0, and he has a -3 for a scramble. So he really has a tough time when he gets off the fairway. So if you're new to APBA golf and don't really kind of understand how the scramble numbers work, obviously this is all in the rule book and you can look this up. But over on the Game Caddie, and I don't recommend that you do much on the Lies tab anymore. In earlier versions of the Game Caddie, you had to spend a lot of time there. So there's lots of information on this Lies tab that you no longer need to pay attention to. But if you're curious or want a reminder as to how do the scramble numbers work, bearing in mind the Game Caddie will take care of all of this for you. You don't need to do anything with regard to the scramble numbers. But if you want to know what the Game Caddie is doing, come over and click on the Lies tab, and up here in this little gray box in the right-hand corner, what it's telling you is that it's going to apply the scramble number, whatever it happens to be. If it's positive, of course, it's going to subtract it from both the first and second dice rolls when the lie is in the rough or in a fairway bunker. Okay? If that number is a negative, like it is with the DeChambeau, it's actually subtracting a negative is the same as adding, so it's going to add to that number to both the first and second dice rolls when the ball's in the rough and in a fairway bunker. And then if you just flip it around the other way, when the ball has a lie in the trees, it's going to do just the opposite. So what it's going to do is it's going to take that scramble number and it's going to add it to both the first and second dice rolls when it's in the trees. And the scramble does not apply to any other lie. Sometimes people wonder, well, does it apply to a greenside bunker? It does to a fairway bunker. And the answer is not the way that the Game Caddie works. If you want to do that, you can certainly make that adjustment on your own, but the Game Caddie does not do that. Okay, so we got to come back here to DeChambeau because I just remembered that I didn't select clubs for him. So for him, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick, I don't know, I'm going to pick a 5-wood. It's a pretty big gap between a driver and a 5-wood, but we'll just do this. We'll see how all this works out. Okay, I think we're ready to go. We just need to load hole 1 here. And what I do need to do is put the ball where we've got the pin number, and I've already forgotten the pin number. It's pin number 3. Okay. So we'll come down here and find pin number 3, which is going to be over here. We'll load hole 1. Okay, so we're not going to have any wind, and we have no hole notes to pay attention to on this particular hole. I'm going to show you the course overall here. This is what it looks like. As you can see, there are bunkers on both sides of the fairway at roughly the 200 to 275 yard markers. More so, of course, on the right than on the left. But we've got maybe a little bit more room on the right in terms of fairway than we do on the left. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here if I can so that you can see a little bit better what's going on in terms of where the ball is landing. Let's see how that goes. All right, and we'll just go ahead and tee off here. Click on the all-in-one menu. And let's see, Young with an average 2 is going to land that at about 280 on average. May end up hitting past those bunkers. And with the roll, you don't really get any advantage there in terms of aiming right or left. So I'm just going to hit this right down the middle of the fairway. 55 is a 2, so we got his average W number. We'll take that or reduce it by 5. Take the shot. It goes 280 right 10. So 280 right 10 is here, and that's going to be all fairway roll. So we'll put 25 in here. That's going to take it to 305 right 10. So he's in great position there. And we'll update that shot. Record it in the fairway. And now we're good for DeChambeau. Similar logic here. I'm just going to go ahead and aim right straight down the fairway with DeChambeau. He gets a 64, which is not a great number on his card. On Young, that would have been a 3 in the W column, but DeChambeau has a 13. So he could be all over the course today. All right, 13 goes 260 left 30. So this is 260, and then left 30 is 10, 20, 30. He's going to be in the rough, so we'll have his fairway roll and round up. So that'll be a 25, then becomes a 15 in the fairway. All right, so I'll put 15 in as his adjusted roll. So he's at 275, left 30, update, regular rough, and record. All right, now let me move this a little bit so you can see where we're aiming for. That's actually pretty good right there. I'll just leave it as is. Might adjust that a little bit. There we go. All right, so DeChambeau is going to be up. He has a buried lie. Okay, so that means that he can't knock the ball down, he can't work the ball, and of course a maximum 7-iron on shots that are not approach shots, the WI shots, which will be plenty of club. That won't be the problem. He's 140 yards out. So sometimes when you hit from the rough, you get a fair amount of green roll here. Let's see. His average I is a 2. Come down here. So pitching wedge, if it were in the fairway, we would probably roll back 5 yards. Unlikely to do that from the rough. So let's just take a pitching wedge here, and that's within the permitted range of clubs that we can select from. And we'll roll the dice. A 45 in the I column is a 3. Take the shot. And because of the game caddy's doing all the lie rolls here, we get an additional 5 right and an additional 10 green roll because of the buried lie here. So the shot goes 400 right 15. Okay, so 400 right 15 would put it, this is 405, so 400, 1, 2. He does hit the green and gets 10 green roll. So 1, 2, ends up over here in the sand trap. All right, so I've lost my cursor. Where's my cursor? There it is. All right, and we'll go ahead and update that and put him in the sand trap. Sand trap means greenside bunker. All right. All right, and now we've got, okay, so this is kind of interesting. So for Young, he's 100 yards out, and he has an average I of 3. So if we come down here in the 3 column to sand wedge, which is the club that hits the ball the least distance among the WI clubs, right? It's still going to go 120, and even if it rolls back 5, it's going to be 15 yards past where we want to go. So we're going to change this to an approach shot. So let me close this just so you can see a little bit better. I'm going to turn the approach caddy on. The approach caddy does not come on when the ball is more than, and we're going to approach from the south, when the call distance is more than 100 yards. So I'm going to choose from the south. We'll get into directions on this shot. And what we need to do now is we need to alter the target in such a way that this call distance is no larger than 100. Now, if you don't want to play that way, you don't have to. The game caddy is not going to keep you from doing that. But I'm trying to conform to the master game rules here and what I think the intent is in this situation. So what we can do is we can change this target from 405 to 400. And because there's no wind, this distance here will change with this. This takes into account any wind effects that are known. This does not, but this is the one that you edit. And this will tell you with the wind that you've got where that ball would end up. Okay, so now we've got a call distance of 100. Come over here and select the 75 to 100 approach club. So we're actually not targeting this spot here. We're targeting this right there. So 5 yards short of where the pin is. Roll the dice. That's a 23. In the A column is a 19. So it's not going to be where we want it to go anyway. And we'll go ahead and take the shot. And it ends up going 4, 10, 15 left. All right, so we overshot the hole. Move this around. 1, 2, 3. Well, we're still on the green. And you don't, again, with approach caddy shots, there is no such thing as roll. So even if you see numbers over here, ignore it. These do not apply whenever you're using the approach caddy. So we end up one diagonal and one straight away from the pin. And hit the calc button, and that tells us that we're 33 feet out. Click on ball and green to record the shot. And then let's go over here now to DeChambeau, who is 20 feet away from the pin. We don't have any sand points, so that's not even an option. We're not affected. We have a good lie in terms of the sand. Click there to select that. A 24 from the A column is a 2. And that puts him 7 feet from the pin. Click on ball and green to record the shot. And players over to the putting boards. All right, Cameron Young at 33. I'm going to play it safe with him from that distance. A 35 in the P column is a 15. Coming down here, and that's going to be 1 foot away. And DeChambeau from 7 feet, while you can play it safe from that distance, I certainly won't. A 16 is a 25, and a 25 from 7 feet, he misses it by 2 feet. All right, DeChambeau putts again. 43 is a 22 in the P column. That's in. And then Young, I don't think he can even miss it from 1 foot. 41 is a 19, and that's in from a foot. Okay. All right, so we had a par and a bogey on that hole, and no sand save for DeChambeau. Okay, so he's 1 over. Cameron Young is even par. Let's move on and load hole number 2. Okay, and so let me flip the board around here. This is going to be a par 3, and our pin number is going to be right here. You can see that. All right, so at the back left of the green, this is a par 3, 204 yards. And what I want to do is I want to pull back here so that you can see more of the hole. Okay, so slide in this direction here. And this is a pretty straightforward hole, except that you've got, bunkers fronting both the right and left sides of the green. And our total distance is going to be 205 yards, left 5. We have no hole notes. These are Dr. Klein's notes up here, and we're just going to ignore them. Okay, so Young will be up. He has honors because he parred the last hole and DeChambeau bogeyed. We have no wind. Okay, so 205 yards. So this is kind of a problem when you've got a wood average W that is lower than the average I. It creates a gap, and both these players have that. It creates a gap where you can possibly not have the right club in your bag to be able to hit the distance that you want. So let's see. Do we want to select? We don't want to do that because he could end up in the trees back there if we hit a 4-iron and the ball goes a little bit long and it's going to roll. So if we go with a 5-iron, a 3 is a 190, and that's going to get about 5 yards roll. So but it'll put him more in the center of the green. So we're going to choose a 5-iron here for Young, and we're not going to work the ball. Can't aim on a par 3, of course. And a 64 in the I column is a 4, so he even hit that a little short as well. So that ball goes 185, right 5. So that will hit here, and then it'll just bounce another 5. So he's going to be 2 diagonals and a straight away. And that means he is 46 feet away. Okay, let's go to DeChambeau. He doesn't have a bounce back point. He's got that 1. So, I mean, a 1 in the W column is 220. That's too far. A 2. If we do a 5-iron, that actually is an okay club for him. So we'll select the 5-iron for him. Take the shot, but we got a bad roll. 34 is a 29. This is going to go 175, left 25. So he hits the rough and rolls 5 more and stays in the rough up there. Okay. Update that. Regular rough. And I can zoom in a little bit here, I think, for you. Whoops, too far. Let me back that out. Huh. Okay, I think. There we go. I need to remove the course. All right. Okay, so DeChambeau's got a hit again. He's off the green here. He's short-sighted, as you can see here. So we're going to aim to the pin center line. Now, pin center line is in a pretty good spot. I think he's unless he happens to go a diagonal north and west. But we'll go ahead and we'll aim for it. So we'll just keep our. No, actually, I'm sorry. Since we're aiming for the center line, if he goes north and east, he could run into trouble. But let's tell you what. I've changed my mind. Let's make this target 200. So in essence, what we're doing is we're targeting this spot right here instead of that spot right there. Okay, let's see what happens. It doesn't change anything in terms of our call distance. Call up the all-in-one menu. 25 to 45 club. Take the shot. 15 is a 2 in the A column. Take the shot. All right, so we lose 5 yards, but we get the choice of going right or left 5 yards. We're hitting from the west, so we're going to be losing 5 yards. All right, so again, we targeted this spot here. We're hitting from this direction, so we lose 5 in that direction, and then we get to go right or left 5, which means we can put the ball right on the pin. Remember, the tee box is always south in the game caddy. Every hole, it's always south. So we just hit the calc button here, and he is 6 feet away. Great shot. And we can head on over to the putting boards here. Cameron Young at 46 out is going to play it safe. Got a 16. Sounds like a familiar number. 25 coming down here is 4 feet away. DeChambeau, 6 feet out. 31 is a 22. Just makes it. Okay. And saves par. And Young from 4 feet, 65 is an 18 in the P column, and that's going to be in as well. All right. So both players par, and Young remains ahead at even par with DeChambeau 1 up. Let's head over to hole 3. Okay, let me flip the boards here. I'll back out some so you can see the whole course. All right, there we go. All right, so this is a par 4. APBA has it marked at 455. For us, it'll only be 435 because our pin placement is going to be up here near the front of the green, right on the center line at 435. You know, except for the bunkers over there on the right, between 175-ish and 225, there's not really much to worry about until we get up around the green, and both these guys should hit well past that point. I'm not sure what purpose those bunkers serve, at least for pros. I mean, for a guy like me, I might spend, a good part of the afternoon in them, but I don't think that's going to be an issue for these two players. All right. And we're just going to aim down the center line. Again, we got a little bit, maybe extra room there on the right. Do I want to aim right 5? Oh, I suppose I could, but, with the roll and all, it probably won't make any difference. Okay, yeah, so I'll aim 5 right. We don't have any wind, again, on this hole. We don't have any hole notes we have to worry about. So, once again, Young is up. I'm going to aim 5 right. And take the driver out and hit it, and that's not a good shot. 36 is a 12 in the W column. And boy, did we go right. I probably should have left well enough alone. 265, 40 right. I'll zoom in here so you can see a little bit better where this ball is going to land. All right. 265, 40 right. Probably over here in the trees. 10, 20, 30, 40. Yeah, so we're less than 1 full square into the trees. I don't know if you can even see that. You maybe just barely there. Less than 1 full square. I'll put the marker in that direction. Okay, and the ball will stop rolling, but the shot will be considered to be in the regular rough because it's less than 1 full square in. Right, so that's our shot. And now DeChambeau's up. I'm not going to aim 5 right. This didn't do any good last time. Take the dice roll as a 26. On his card, that's a 31. So he clobbers this. So this goes 305, 10 left. This may even be past what you can see here. So 305, 10 left. And then it's going to get 40 roll. He almost drives the green here. So 40 roll. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong. It's hard having my eyesight. 305 and then 10 left and then rolls 40. I think it's going to be there. Whoops. Sorry about that. Put 40 in for the fairway roll. 345, 10 left, and that's where I've got the marker. All right. Come down here, see where we're aiming for, and we're not going to be blocked by those trees up there around the 400-yard mark. I can just eyeball that and tell that we aren't. I do have to update this shot. There we go, fairway. And now we've got a buried lie, unfortunately. Okay. So Game Caddie did our lie roll for us. It turns out we're buried. Because this is regular rough, we're not going to be limited to a pitching wedge. We will be limited, however, though, to a 7-iron on this shot. We can't knock it down. We can't work the ball. And we're 180 away, a 180. See, he's got a 3 for the iron. 7-iron is only going to get us 165, but that's the best we can do. So we'll just take that and take the shot. It's a 21. Is a 17. And this ball goes 405, left 15. And gets no roll. So, all things considered, that's not terrible. You can see we're having the soft fairway is limiting the rolls by 5 yards. This is the Game Caddie's handling that for us automatically. You'll notice that this starts once you've updated the shot. It starts off as a -5 in the fairway, and that's figured into this calculation up here. All right, now we got DeChambeau. He's within approach range. This ball's on the center line, so we'll just go. We'll just keep our target at 435. His call distance is 90. Take the shot. 35 is a 2 in the A column. So he goes 430 left 5. And that's going to be 1 diagonal away. All right. $14 feet. Back to Young. 35 is our distance. 36 is our roll. And that's a 17. Take the shot. Ends up at 425, right 5. He may not even be on the green. I'm going to get rid of DeChambeau's marker here. No, he somehow managed to miss the green from there. I don't know, he chunked it or what. 425, right 5, which is just a horrible roll. So he's still on the fairway. Remember, with approach shots, we don't factor in any roll, so you ignore all of this over here. The ball just ends up where it ends up. All right, so still on the fairway. And I want to double check. Yes, that's still fairway. Okay. We could putt from that distance, but again, unless the pin is really right up against the edge of the green, it almost never makes sense to do that. He's 10 yards out here, so we'll take another approach shot. 55 is a 2 in the A column. Why didn't that register? I got hit in the low. I'm not sure why that. Huh. Something's not right here. My keyboard stopped working. Oh. I don't know if I do that. That's working there. I don't know what's going on here. I've never seen this before. Oh, you know why? Silly me. I didn't select the approach club over here. All right. So when this happens to you, you'll remember, boy, Scott doesn't know what he's doing here. Now it'll work. All right. That should have been my first clue. Okay. Anyway. We all make mistakes. 4 feet out. Okay. And that's figured for us, the putt distance, because we're within 20 yards to to the pin. Whenever you select these two clubs over here, assuming you can remember to do that, the result will always show up in the putt distance box down here. You do not look up here for 20 yards and in. And we'll record the ball on green. All right. Players to the putting boards. All right, Bryson DeChambeau, 14 feet out, he'll go for it. A 31 is a 22. He misses it by a foot. Cameron Young, from 4 feet out, 61 is a 17. He finally puts that ball in the hole for a bogey. And now for par, DeChambeau from a foot out, 41. And that's a 19, and that's going to be in. Transfer over here, and now we got both players at 1 over. Okay. All right, let's load hole 4. I'll back things out here for you. Okay. This is a par 4, 427 yards. Come back and load up hole 4. And we're going to have the pin at 415, left 5. We don't have any wind on this hole. And this is a gentle dogleg that you see there in the middle of the course. All right. And let's take a look at where this ball is likely to land. That gentle dogleg is about 250, so they're going to clear that dogleg most likely. And we got trees over here on the right, starting at about 275. So I think we're going to aim left to just try to stay away from those trees. At least 5 left, maybe 10 left. Although it would still be within club's distance of the hole, even if you got into those trees. But too many bad things can happen if you end up in the trees, right? So I'm going to play again a little bit conservatively and aim 10 left, I think, here for DeChambeau. Distance isn't going to be an issue. I could certainly go with a shorter club with him. He would have no trouble reaching the green in 2. But what the heck? Let's go 10 left. In terms of our aim, that won't penalize us on distance. Roll the dice. 64. Boy, he's got that rotten 13 and that 64, and we've hit it twice on 4 holes. And so this is going to go way left. 260 left 40. $10, $20, $30. Man, I managed to hit these trees. Okay, but we're still going to be in regular rough here because we're less than 1 full square in, and we're not going to be blocked by trees going towards the green. So all we have to do is just update this shot and say it's in the regular rough. All right, so Cameron Young, watching all that, has decided, oh, I hit the wrong square. I hit this arrow. I meant I don't know what I was doing, but I hit this by mistake. Okay, but he has a bounce back, right? So we're not going to be able to aim or work the ball with that. Well, we're not going to be able to aim with that, but we don't want to anyway, I don't think. So we'll take the bounce back point here, and he'll hit a driver. His average W is 2. I've got the driver selected. It's done by default. Reduce it by 5 yards. So this is going to go 280 right 10. So it hits kind of here in the intermediate rough, which is fine. We'll get our full fairway roll with that, and it's going to roll 25. So that'll put us at 305 right 10. Right there in the fairway. Okay, simple enough. Now we've got, oh boy, the same thing keeps happening. So DeChambeau is in the regular rough, but the game caddy did the lie roll for us, okay? And what we've ended up is with a buried lie again. So as a reminder, no knockdown, can't work the ball, maximum of 7 iron, which again, I don't think any of those things are going to matter to us. Probably he has work the ball ratings of C in both directions, so we wouldn't have done that probably anyway. So let's just figure out what club to use. 165 is the distance. He's got a 2 as his average I. Well, so it turns out he's probably going to get a little bit of roll with this 7-iron because he's in the rough. But I'm going to go ahead and select the 7-iron because I'd rather him be on the green than be short. And take the shot. 56. Okay, a 15. So it goes 420, left 20. And I'm going to need to move here because I realize now you can't see. 420, left 20. So 10, 20, 10. So he hits the rough up here and does not get any roll. So sitting just off the green in the rough. Regular rough. Okay, and now Young is 110 yards out. 3-column sand wedge, subtract 5. That's going to put it at about 115. I could, again, use the approach caddy by clicking that path button, but that's probably going to leave me short, and I don't want to be in that bunker. So I'll just go. What I'll do is I'll hit a knockdown sand wedge. So we'll select sand wedge, knockdown, and there's a part of me that thinks that maybe I shouldn't even knock it down. But we'll do it. Let's just see what happens here. Okay. I could aim. I'm not going to because going left and I'm short, I'm going to end up over in that bunker. 22, I don't think it's going to be short. 22 is a 2 in the I column. Take the shot. So this goes 4, yeah, I did hit the knockdown. So it goes 420, right 5. So it goes in the wrong direction for us. So that's 415, 420, right 5. And then it rolls back 5. So we're 2 straights away. Okay, good enough. And that'll put him at 23 feet. We'll go back to DeChambeau here. He's 15 to the pin, sitting in the rough. And we don't have to worry about that. The game caddy will manage the fact that he's from the rough for us. Roll is a 66, which is a 1. See that a lot in the approach column. Take the shot, and that puts him 10 feet away. And record it with ball on green, and players over to the putting boards. All right, so we'll just leave that there. Cameron Young from 23 feet. I'll go for it from that distance. 62 is a 16. That's not going to be in, but we'll be okay. 3 feet away. DeChambeau will go for it from 10 feet. 25 is a 24. That's not in. He's also, wait, not also, but he's 2 feet away. And then Young will putt out, hopefully. 51 is a 19. That's a good number for 51. And that's going to be in. And then DeChambeau, 32 is a 20. And that's going to be in from 2 feet. All right. So DeChambeau bogeys that hole because he couldn't get it on the green. Hitting from the rough with that buried lie. So Young 1 over, DeChambeau 2 over. Let's move on to hole number 5. All right, Metro, hole number 5. This is a par 4, 407 yards on the APBA course board. Our pin placement is going to be close to that, 405, right 20. So we're way over here in the right-hand pocket here. So that's going to be interesting in terms of, like to have a good angle on that. So if we can hit to the left side of the fairway off the tee, that would be ideal. And this is a hole that has a double dog leg, and I want to talk a little bit about that as well. But before I do, let me back out so you can see what I'm seeing. All right, let's shift this down here. Okay, so you can see the double dog leg. The first one is at 210 yards, and it does come into play. It comes in. We would have dog leg effects. Remember, we're playing with the original master game rules on that. So shots to the inside of the dog leg, in this case, will be pulled right if they cross over from the left, and shots that cross the 210-yard mark from the right will not be affected in terms of the dog leg. The second dog leg here is at 290, and both these guys could theoretically drive that second dog leg on this shot, but boy, is that a risky thing to do. Just going through that first dog leg could push us over there into the trees, and in reality, it would take a pretty weird shot for both dog leg effects to come into play here, given that both dog legs are in the same direction. If you think about the geometry on that, the second, you'd have to cross the second dog leg from the inside, and if you're crossing the first one from the inside, it's not likely that you're going to be crossing the second one from the inside. So in effect, this second dog leg probably doesn't matter, because if dog leg effects did happen, it would be probably on that first dog leg, and it would push us so far right, we'd never cross the second dog leg from the left. That was perhaps more than I needed to say, but hopefully you followed the logic of that. Okay. So we've got Young up first here. I'm going to hit a 4-wood. Mainly because I'd like a little bit of control over where this ends up, and I don't want to go too far past that first dog leg, if I can help it. And again, I could probably even choose my hybrid here. We don't have any wind on this, so we don't have to worry about the wind effects being doubled. And a hybrid will cut down on the roll for us, and we won't go quite as far. I think we'll be okay with the 4-wood. All right, so let me just go ahead. I'm not going to aim or anything like that. I'll just take the shot. A 52. Okay, that's a 23, so who knows where this is going to go. All right, so we are going left, but 225 left 30. And you'll notice that the dog leg applies as yes, right? So this is, the game caddy is going to handle all of this roll for us. So the actual shot went 225 left 35. This is a normal dog leg. So what it's doing is it's already shaved off 5 yards for us because we've gone past this dog leg. So 225 left 30. It's gonna, maybe I can zoom in some more here so you can see a little bit better. All right. 225 left 30, 10, 20, 30. So it hits in the rough. So we'll put in the adjusted roll as 10. That's 15 divided by 2 rounded up, so that's 10. And let's see, that puts us at 235 left 25. So that would be here. So we're in the sand. And normally what I would do is I would like draw a line from where I started to where I ended up. So that would be like kind of like across here. And if there was something that would stop me along that line, I would stop ahead of time. But really, I don't encounter the first sand fairway bunker square until I get to where the ball ends up anyway. So we'll accept that as our final destination. Fairway bunker, record. Okay, well, despite our best efforts here, it didn't really work for us. No bounce back for DeChambeau. I'm going to hit a 5-wood with him. Oh my goodness, the same roll. And the same number, 23. Different club. Take the shot. So this goes 215, 30 left. So we're not far enough past the dog leg for those effects that happen to Young to come into play yet. So, all right, so this is one of those goofy situations where you don't actually have a yard mark that corresponds with what the shot result was because of the Cartesian nature of the way the way the hole is drawn. So 215 left 30. So let's just do 210 left 30. So 10, 20, 30. All right, so it's going to be in that general vicinity. And because you lose squares in some cases going through dog legs and you gain squares going through dog legs in some cases, I don't actually bother to count out from that location, at least not to start with. What I do is I come down here and I look at what the roll is. Okay, so the roll is 10. It's in the rough. It'll be cut in half. So we'll add 5 to that. So we'll put a 5 in there. And that's going to take it to 220 left 30. So then what I would do is I'd say, okay, so where's 220 left 30? So 220 left 30. This is 220, 10, 20, 30. And it's practically in the same spot there. Right, so you're not actually moving any squares. You're pretty much staying the same, but you're chewing up the 5 yards. All right, and that is also in the regular rough. And DeChambeau is going to be far. We're not going to be affected, I don't think, by trees. For the trees to come into play here, we'd have to cross one of these squares here on the way, well, maybe that one there on the way to the green. I could get out the straight edge and measure all that, but my eye, well, let's just do it. I'm going to all this trouble. So 220 left 30. I'm going to move that marker so I don't bump it. 220 left 30 is 10, 20, 30 is right there. Okay, and the front of the green is right there. Well, maybe we do. Maybe we are blocked. It's right up there. Okay, 220, 30. Yeah, so we're going to be blocked right at this point here. So let's count diagonals and squares. So 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, roughly 12 straight lines, I think that was. And we'll put that up here in the tree clearance calculator, and that tells us we need a clearance of at least 60 yards to not be blocked by trees. So we'll call up the all-in-one menu. And what we're going to do is look at club maximums. Okay, we're in the rough, 60 yards tree clearance. So that means we would be, it was actually a little bit more than 60 if we counted those fractional squares. So the maximum club we could hit is a 7-iron to have enough loft to get over those trees, right? So we can use any of these clubs here, but the 7-iron only has a maximum of 60 tree clearance, all right? So he's going to be 195 out. And even though he has a 2, that's only going to get him at 175. That's going to put him short. However, oh boy, this gets complicated. Now, because that second dog leg does come into effect, because if you're blocked by trees, that's when the second dog leg comes into effect. Look at the note up here. That means that if his shot goes left of that second dog leg, it's going to be pushed pretty far right, given the distance we would like to hit the ball, which, you know, he could essentially end up off the course over to the right if he hits it too far. Okay, so well, probably not, but he would probably end up at least in that deep rough over there in the brown. So I guess what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hit a 7-iron. You know, that way, by trying to go over the trees, then I don't have to worry about the dog leg. If I try to hit around the trees, then I have to take those dog leg effects into account. And I don't, and of course I could just, you know, play safe if I wanted to, you know, back to the center line. And I don't want to do that. I want to get some distance on this. So I'm going to choose a 7-iron, and we're just going to hit over those trees, hopefully. And I'm not going to aim or anything, just take the shot. Okay, the roll is a 43. 43 is an 11. So this shot goes 375. Let me put this back. 375, right 10. And it rolls only 5 yards. So in actuality, that's a pretty good shot. I mean, we didn't put it on the green, but given that we're blocked by trees, I'll take it. Okay. So put a 5 in for the fairway roll, 380, right 10. That's where the ball marker is. Update. We're in the fairway. And his next shot is going to be, oh boy. Oh, now I didn't realize that. I thought we were going to be within 20 yards of the pin. This means we've got to hit back to the center line. This is actually a terrible place to be because we can't work the ball. Well, I'll whine about that when it comes his turn to hit again. All right, so let's go back to Cameron Young, who's at 235, left 25. I got to put him back here. And he's not going to be blocked by trees, but he is in a fairway bunker. But we have no. It's a good lie in the bunker. We don't have any sand effects here that we have to worry about. It's got to hit at 175. 3. I'm going to hit a 7-iron, and I can actually aim. I'll aim 10 to the right, or maybe 5 to the right. I think it might go like 15 right, hitting out of a fairway bunker, if it goes to the right. Of course, it could go to the left. Okay, a little bit of a gamble here. And what did I say? I said a 7-iron, right? So hit this. 23 is a 15. So it went way right. Okay, so 380, 25 right. And we're going to be short anyway. All right, so back here. That's 380, 10, 25. That's right there. And no roll. So he is also going to be in a bad spot. So because I didn't make the green or get it close enough to the pin, both of these guys are going to be short-sighted in a bad way. Regular rough. Yeah. Okay. I had maybe played that as smart as I could have. All right. So I just have to hit to the center line. I mean, there's nothing else I can do. Yeah. So I mean, I could study it all I want, but if I stick to the rules, this is all I can do. 42 in the A column is a 3. In some ways, you want like a bad roll there because it will, sometimes take the shot in the direction you want it to go. But not in this case. 405. So we hit it right to the target, but we're going to be 4 straights away from the pin. We're going to have quite a putt here. 54 feet. And same deal with DeChambeau. 25 is a 13, is a 2 in the A column. And this went right to the center line as well, but 5 yards short. So that's going to put the ball right there. And that's going to be one die. Let's see. I'm on the wrong line there. Right there. It's going to be one diagonal and 3 straights. And that's going to be 59 feet. All right, players of the putting boards will both play it safe here. DeChambeau from 59. Oh my goodness, a 2. A 2, and from 59, it's in. Oh my goodness. All right. So playing it safe did not hurt us. So he's going to end up parring that hole after that adventure. Okay. And Young, I'll play it safe with him as well. A 52 is a 21. That's going to be 4 feet. And a 33. I could have used that last time. Although that still wouldn't have been a good enough roll for him from that distance. That's a 7. That's in. All right. So we'll transfer these putts over, and both players are 2 over. We're not killing it on this course. That's for sure. Particularly on a day where you have calm wind, would have expected to do perhaps a little bit better here than what we've got. All right, so we're up to hole number 6. And you can see our pin placement is going to be 545 left, and this is a par 5. So let me back out again so you can see everything. Right. And the pin is going to be where? Pin's going to be just right there. At least it's not up against that water, which will, I'm sure, be a factor in our shot planning. Come back here. Got the DeChambeau up, no hole notes, no hole wind. And no, we have a normal dog leg up here at 385. Even the DeChambeau probably will not be affected by that. Particularly with no wind. If we had a major tailwind, perhaps, but we don't. Okay, so I'd kind of like to stay away from those bunkers there. Let me again come over here so you can see perhaps the likely location where the ball is going to land. Somewhere in this vicinity, I would think. Those bunkers are at about 250. Well, they range from 230 to 280 over there on the right. I think we're just going to hit straight away here with the driver. 22 for DeChambeau is a 1 in the W column, which is his average W. So we'll take it. So that'll make it go a little less to the left. So 290 left 10. All right, that's going to hit in the fairway, and it's going to get 25 roll. Again, we lose 5 because of that. The soft conditions, so 315 left 10. And that's in the fairway. All right, Young. Now he does have a bounce back, so we'll take that because of the bogey on the last hole. And his average W, again, is a 2. We'll just keep with the driver. Reduce 5 yards. Take the shot. And that goes 280 right 10. And he'll get his full roll. So that'll be a total of 305 right 10 right there. Okay. In the fairway. Young will be far. He's got 235 as the carry objective. Boy, and you got that water there. I mean, it's almost silly, perhaps. I mean, they do hit the ball so far. But then you've got water behind the green, too. All right, so let me pull this down here so you can see what I'm looking at here. I can back it out maybe a little bit more for you to see. Let's do this. That's maybe too far. There we go. That's probably a little bit better. Okay. So, The water behind the green, that little extension, I guess that's the creek that feeds into that pond there. Is that water? It's hard to tell what that is. Is that a cart path of some type? Oh, you know what? That actually, yeah, that looks like it's a cart path. Yeah. Yeah, so we don't have to actually worry about that. So if we hit long, we just end up in the rough, or maybe those trees over there to the back left of the green. All right, so that kind of changes my thinking on this. So a 235 with a W2. He doesn't have a 2-iron. He does have a hybrid, which would go exactly 235. And you don't get a lot of roll with the hybrid versus a 3-iron, which is 220. But then you run the risk of that water. Yeah, let's hit the hybrid. Let's see what happens. We don't have any wind to worry about, so there's not going to be any doubling of the wind effects. And, you know, I'm not going to aim or anything like that. Let's just see what happens. 13 is a 35. All right, that's an unusual number for that note roll, but let's take it. 35. So the ball goes, what? It only goes 515 right 5. I was worried about him hitting it too far. 515 right 5. Okay. So that's not good at all. So he's in the water. I mean, that's plain and simple. 515 right 5. It's right there. And if we look at where he was hitting from, we'll be able to see, he was at 305 right 10. Right there. Okay, get out the straight edge here. Remember how to do this? 305 right 10, 315 right 5. So he is going to cross the water essentially at this point right here. So, 310 right 5. Is that in the water? No, 310 right 5 would be intermediate rough, maybe, or fairway, either one. 510 right 5. Okay. And then what we do, of course, is we line it up with the hole itself, and then we can hit anywhere along this line here. Those are our options. Anywhere along there. Well, going all the way back to here if we want, but we're not going to do that, of course. All right. So if you remember how we did this before, I have to record this shot. I'm going to call it the penalty stroke. Okay. I'm going to come over here and just write a comment to remind me that this was water. That's why it was a penalty stroke. Okay. And then we need to place the ball. And I'm going to place the ball at 510 right 5. And it doesn't really matter whether we call this intermediate rough or fairway, because it will be handled the same way on the next shot. So I'll just call it intermediate rough. We have now dropped the ball, and when it comes our time to hit, we're ready to go. And I'll put the marker right there. All right. Now we've got DeChambeau at 225 out with a 1. I'm going to hit a 4-iron. Roll the dice. 55 is a 1 in the W column. That shot will go right, and that'll go left, and we want to go left, but I don't know whether it goes 10 yards left or 5 yards left. I'll just go ahead the 4-iron. I just can't remember. And I could look it up, but I don't want to do that. So I'll go ahead and take it and reduce it 5 yards. I may put it on the center line. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it would have only gone 5 left, and I miscalculated here. But 535, we'll put it right there. And then we get 10 green roll. So it's 1 diagonal away, and if I hadn't taken that, we would have gotten 1 straight away. But that's fine. We're 1 diagonal out. At 11 feet for a potential eagle. So that's great for DeChambeau. They get him back to even par. So now we got a deal here with Young, who's 30 from the pin. And I'm gonna move this target to the center line, because I don't want to end up in the rough if I don't hit it right where I'm aiming. Roll 46 is a 24. Take the shot. 6 feet minus die roll. Okay, so I'm going to use the Control D to bring up the dice roller and whatever that 1 die roll is. So 6 feet minus 1. Minus 5 for the 1 die is 1 foot away. So he's going to be able to salvage par here. We'll just type 1 in there for the putt distance after we recorded the ball on the green. So both our guys are ready to go here. This could have ended up a lot worse, that's for sure. Okay, so DeChambeau for an eagle, 11, 12 is a 22. And that's not going to be good for an eagle. He leaves it a foot short. Young will putt next from 1 foot. 56 is a 24, and that's going to be in for a par. And DeChambeau from 1 foot out, 21 is 24, and that's in from 1 foot out. Okay. And he gets a birdie. Okay. Young 2 over, and DeChambeau 1 over. Let's move on to hole number 7. Whoops. Still no wind and no hole notes on the APBA course board to worry with. This is going to be a par 3. The hole position is at 180 right 5. So let me call this up for you. Put the pin marker right here. And there's not much to show you here. I'll just leave this the way that it's set up. So I'm not showing you the tee box this time, but you're not missing anything. Just some trees around it and mostly rough. Okay. All right. And we've got a birdie for DeChambeau. He does have a momentum, and he has an even number for an iron. So this ball would go to the right, and this could be interesting here. So it's 180. 2 column. All right, that's a 1. Too bad. If we knock that down, that's just going to go 180, but it's going to roll 5. So that's still going to end up at 185. Yeah, so either of these shots are going to leave us 1 square away. So, I mean, I could just do this and put 1 square right over here and we'd be done with it. But let me show you what I'm doing. All right, so 7 iron. We'll pick a 7 iron. We're going to use this momentum point. I just want to mark that so I don't forget. That is a 2. I'm not going to take the average eye. Take the shot. It's going to go 175, right 5. Well, if this is 180, right 5, that's 175, right 5. And unfortunately, we don't get any roll. So that will be 1 straight line away. So he's got 7-foot putt for a possible birdie. Come over here. Now we actually have to take the shot with Young. 183 is his average eye. So if we knock that down and he gets 5 roll, that'll go 180. So we want to knock down a 6 iron. Roll 36. Oh, these rolls. 15. Well, 160, right 20. 160, 10, 20. Hits in the rough and doesn't roll. No roll. Update. Regular rough. And 25 away again, so we have to aim for the center line, which is what we'll do. Call up the all-in-one menu. Take the shot. 35 is a 3 in the A column. And he hits it right directly to the center line, which would be right there. So he's going to be 1 straight away. And he'll have an 8-foot putt for par. And he'll go first. So Young putts from 8 feet. 21 is a 21 from 8 feet. Is good for a par. A big sigh of relief there. It's in. And DeChambeau from 7 feet for a birdie. 53 is an 18. And that's good for a bird. So DeChambeau's digging himself out. He's now at even par. Young still at 2 over. And we'll move on to hole number 8, which is a 354-yard par 4. Mark the pin placement here, which is going to be right there. And I will zoom out for you so you can see the whole hole here. All right. And we have a normal dog leg here. And it looks like at 250. So shots could be thrown pretty far to the left, depending on how far past we hit past that dog leg. There. But if you go to the right, then you could end up in those bunkers at 225, 250. So an interesting hole to play. But let's go ahead and load it. No more momentums left for DeChambeau, and we have no wind again. I love calm days. I mean, it does make life a whole lot simpler. You kind of get spoiled, though, and then when you have to deal with a swirling wind, you think, hey, what's the big deal? Okay, do I want to hit a driver, knowing that that driver could go way past that dog leg? No, I think I'll hit a 5 wood. I'll just hit a 5 wood. 52. Well, not great. No matter what club I used, it would not be a great shot. 23 in the W column. It's 215 left 30. And 20. 30 is in the regular rough. And so it's only going to roll 5 yards. Come back over here and zoom in a little bit so you can see. All right, there you go. All right, so let's add the 5 adjusted roll here. Update this, regular rough, and record the shot. All right, Young. He'll hit a 4 wood. Roll 23. It's a 31. Okay. So he'll go past the dog leg, I think. I'm not sure which side here. 255, left 5. Right, so he's on the outside of the dog leg here. And then gets 30 roll. So he's not affected. 285, left 5. Right. Update. Fairway. Okay, let's take a look here at what we're aiming for. I'll just leave it like right there. There is a bunker behind where the pin is marked. You can sort of see a little bit of it, perhaps on your screen there. All right, we're going to have DeChambeau up. He's 150 out in the rough. We're going to get an extra 5 green roll, as you can see, because we're in the rough, and that was our lie roll. Have to take that into account. He's got a 2 for an iron, and 150. So that's a 9 iron, which normally wouldn't roll, but we'll get an extra 5 yards because of that green roll. So we'll go ahead and we'll hit a 9 iron, but we'll knock it down. And he's short-sighted, so can't aim in this situation. All right. 65 is a 3. Probably would have been best if I didn't knock it down, but that's okay. It's going to go 350, 10 right. Yeah, odd number from the regular rough. Odd numbers, at least ones that are in single digits, tend to go to the right. So it's the reverse of the fairway end of the sand. So if you were surprised, oh geez, that was an odd number, why didn't it go to the left? It's because it's in the regular rough. So 350, right 10. So it's going to be 10 yards short of this and 10 yards over here. So it hits, again, I play this as regular rough when it's within 1 square of the green, and he doesn't get any roll. It just sits there because that course is soft. And we're going to have an approach shot here, I think, yeah, for Cameron Young, who's 75 yards out, also short-sighted. I'm gonna move this to 355. I want that ball to be on the green when it's done. We don't have any wind to worry about. So we're going to be a call distance of 70 yards. I always use the call distance when it's over 20 yards. Even if I make an adjustment like the way that I did, some people may say, well, you're 75 to the pin, so maybe you should use 75, and that's what this number was originally, but I changed the target, so I'm changing the call distance, and therefore, in this case, it's actually changing boards. It would have been this board, now it's this board. If you interpret it differently and want to play differently, nothing's stopping you. Okay, take the shot is a 33 for the roll, and that in the A column is a 2. And it goes 360, right 5. So it went the opposite direction of what we wanted. So we're 2 straights. I don't know if you can see that. 2 straights away. A little bit hard to see there. Okay. And that's going to put him at 24 feet. And we've got to take our next approach shot from 15 from the rough. DeChambeau is a 12, is a 26. That doesn't sound good. And he's going to be 13 feet away for a par putt. And he's going to let Young putt first at 24 feet. I'm going to go for it. 52, wouldn't make much difference. 21 from, what did I say, 24? Yeah, 21. Oh, 4 feet. Okay, certainly makeable for him, but not ideal. And DeChambeau from 13 feet will go for it. Oh, 66. He has a 1. So that would have been in for a long way. All right, so he does par, saves par, and then Young trying to save par, 44, that's going to be in. That's an 8 on his card in the P column. All right, so a couple of 4s there, and we'll play one more hole here and finish up the front 9. You know, obviously talking through this takes a lot longer, and to stop and explain things like shots in the water and so forth. With 2 guys I could normally play on my own. I could play Metro D.C. in, I would say, well under 90 minutes on my own. It doubles the time essentially when you talk through this and explain your logic and what you're doing so other people can understand. I don't mind doing that. I just want to give you some an appropriate expectation for how long it should take you to play a course like Metro D.C., which is a pretty simple one in terms of the APBA world. Not necessarily easy to play, but I mean easy in terms of hole difficulty or course difficulty, but simple to play because you don't have a lot of hole notes that you have to fool around with or other complicated situations. Okay, so I guess I should actually put up hole 9. I was busy talking and not doing other things. I should have been multitasking here. Come back out and I'll show you the whole here. The whole hole? Yes. Okay, so that's the hole at a distance. The pin is going to be at 595 left 10, which I believe is right there. And we actually do have a hole note here. So shots landing on fairway or green short of pin 4, roll back 10 yards. Okay, and that's on the course board. All right, and pin 4 is actually on the same pin center line as what we're on. So we don't want to hit short. This is a par 5, 602 yards. We'll be playing 595 for us. Okay. So let's zoom in again so you can see where the ball is likely to land on the first shot. Do this. And right here is the 300-yard mark. So the ball is probably going to land somewhere in this vicinity here, I would think. So let me move that a little bit in that direction for you. Okay. All right. We'll just hit a driver. Hope it goes straight. DeChambeau is going to be up. Roll the dice. It was a 43. I double-clicked there. So we'll take the 43. Either of those would be good shots. But 43 is a 31 on his card. And that ball goes 300 left 10. And it's going to get all fairway roll, which is 40 roll. So he hits that. Did that? I want to make sure that I did that correctly. Let me back that number out. See what this was. Okay, yeah, 300. Yeah, and add 40 roll. This is interesting. I wasn't paying attention. We did have some wind on this hole. I was trying to figure out why does this say 305 and this say 300. The reason is that we have a headwind that costs us 5 yards. I didn't see that before I teed off. All right, so that explains why this came up 5 yards shorter than what I was expecting. So 340 left 10. So that puts DeChambeau right there. All right, and we'll go ahead and update that shot. It's going to be in the fairway. And that same headwind is going to affect Young as well. It's going to be constant for the hole. All right, and we'll hit a driver. Roll the dice. 61 is a 4, so we didn't get all of it. But it goes straight enough. 260, right 15. It's going to hit right here on the edge of the fairway, and he's going to get his full 20 roll. 10, 20, all right. 280, right 15, fairway. All right, not going to reach the green in 2 at 325 up here. Might want to lay up around, what is that? Is that 500? Yeah. Let's lay up around. We don't want to go more than 500. So we'll put 500 up here. And you know, this distance calculator is not going to take this wind into effect. It's just going to tell us the actual distance. So we're going to lose 5 yards. So we could actually make that a 230 if we wanted to. But we definitely don't want to go past 230, because otherwise I end up in the rough or deep rough or whatever that is up there. Average W of 2. That's going to get a lot of roll. I think I'm going to hit a 4-iron. It'd be kind of nice if I could get it over to the right, but I don't want to work the ball to the right. Can't aim on a par 2 on your, on a par 5 on your second shot. I'm just going to go ahead and hit a 4-iron. I can probably work the ball on my approach shot if I need to. 22 is a 1. Man, it's going to go left. Not good. All right. So the shot goes 490 left 5. So that's going to be there, and I'm going to get 5 green roll. So I am in the fairway. I just would have liked to have been over on the right. All right. 495 left 5. Fairway. But I'm going to be within approach range, and I can work the ball because I'm going to be over 70 yards out. So I'll have that option available to me next time. Okay, now DeChambeau can probably reach this green. So 260. Still got this wind that this factors in. Okay, so with a 1. It's got a 5 wood. It's a 255. That's exactly the club we want. We want a 5 wood. And I can't aim. Even though I'm going, well, I could aim, but I'm short-sighted. Okay, and 51. I think that may be okay. 51 is a 2. So that ball's going 580. I'm surprised it had that big of a drop-off. Okay, so 580 right 10. So 580. Yeah, so I may be in this bunker here. Oh, I think that's rough actually. Yeah, so that may actually be. This is really hard for me to see. Yeah, it's really hard to see whether that's intermediate rough or it's fairway. But looking over here, it doesn't matter because we only get 5 roll anyway. But we are going to end up in the fairway. I think that's fairway. Yeah, you're right on the edge there, so you get to take what you want, I think. Or is that not on the edge? No. And that's within 1 square of the green. That's going to be rough. Sorry that took so long to do, but I just couldn't see it. All right, so that's going to be regular rough. Okay. All right, so now how do we work the ball? We want to work I'm going to work the ball 5 to the left. So we'll just put a 5 right there. This is targeting the center line because we're short-sided. Select the 100, 75 to 100 club, walk the ball 5 left, take the shot. Oh my goodness, another 36. 36 is a 17 in the A column, and then the work the ball number is a 42. 42 in the A column is a 3, and this shot goes to 600 right 5. So, oh goodness, I realize I'm now, for the first time, you weren't able to see any of the muttering, any of the things I was muttering about. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. 600 is going to be 5 past the pin, and then right 5 is where it ends up. All right, so that's going to be 2 straights and a diagonal away. Not a great shot. Ball on green. And we'll update. Oh, I don't need, I'm sorry, I'm lost my concentration. My dog was over here making strange noises. So I don't need to update because we're already on the green. All right, so we need to click the all-in-one menu to go to the next player. And DeChambeau is 20 out from the pin. He'll take his shot. 43 is a 3. So he's going to have a 5-foot putt, ball on green, for a potential birdie. Everybody's on the green at this point. Cameron Young, 43 for a birdie. Yeah, he'll play it safe. 65 is an 18 in the P column, and that's going to be 3 feet out. And DeChambeau, 5 feet out for a birdie. Another 66. Man, he's getting the putt rolls. So 1 is in. So he gets another birdie. He's going to end up under par here. Cameron Young, 44. Could have used that last time. Is an 8. 3 feet. That's good. All right. So let's record this. So kind of a tough round here for Cameron Young. He ends up 2 over with 15 putts. That's a fair number of putts for any 9 holes. 71% fairways, 56% greens and regulations. Stayed out of the sand. Longest drive, 305. Longest putt was 8 feet. And only a total distance of putts, 32 feet. Putts made. Compared to DeChambeau here, 96 total length putts made and only 13 putts. And he's 1 under par. So, you know, his driving hasn't been as good as Young's, only 43% fairways compared to 71%, and greens and regulation only 44% compared to 56%. But he did have that 59-foot putt, which helped tremendously, and a total of 2 fewer putts altogether. Okay, so that was the front 9. When I get a chance, I'll make the video for the back 9. If you haven't seen the earlier videos that I've made, I strongly advise you to go ahead and watch them because they cover a lot of stuff that we didn't cover in this video. If you want a copy of the Game Caddie, email me, Scott Moeller at smoeller9@gmail.com, and I'll send one to you for free. You can find tutorials on how to play using the Game Caddie over on the Game Caddie channel, which is not to be confused with this channel, which is the Game Caddie Play channel. And then you can visit the Game Caddie website at thegamecaddy.com if you want to read about tournaments, replays, and other things that are Game Caddie and APBA Golf related. Until next time, grip it and rip it.